Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video on the RussellStarTrek channel. I know I technically haven't really made a random video since the start of Studio Ghibli Summer, and you know, honestly, I've been trying to put so much time and effort into not only that, but also SGB as well. I just haven't really found time to go and actually make content for my actual channel. Because obviously Oddboy or Franco is basically handling Studio Ghibli Summer, and I'm trying to oversee all the stuff on SGB, so it's very sort of complicated. But I'm gonna be trying to integrate like little random videos throughout, because I already have not only this one, but I have another one coming out hopefully within the next few days. So, really am excited for that. But, I mean, if you guys want, like, random videos like this, please comment down in the, in this comment section, basically saying, like, oh, like, what kind of videos you guys want to see, and that sort of stuff. That would mean, you know, absolutely everything to me, or just, you know, or it would mean a lot if you guys could try and help me out with making better content for the channel. So, yeah. But, the purpose of this video is to, well, you guys already can tell by the title and the thumbnail. I've been promising this for a little over a week now, and I've not gotten around to it. I haven't even filmed it yet, until this point. And I think now I'm finally ready to discuss my thoughts, on this movie, which, I'm surprised you guys haven't even, figured out yet, like, what it could possibly be. Because I've been hyping it for a little bit, ever since I posted the 2 vlogs last weekend, I think. You know, people, like my friends who were there when I talked about this, and some people were commenting about it as well, asking about when was this video coming out, and now I'm finally doing it. So yeah, guys, welcome to my thoughts on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which came out in, I think, June of this year, as I'm currently recording this, of 2023. I went to go and see this around... Damn, actually, let me look at the date again of when, because the night that I made the... if you guys haven't followed me yet on Letterboxd, you really should. Because that's when I get, that's when I post about, new videos and that sort of stuff. Or when I watch a new, movie and that sort of shit. But when did I gotta check the date of when I posted the 6 days ago. So that was, like, the 9th or 10th? Okay, July 8th of this year. So it's been about a week since I have watched it, and I've taken a little bit of time to fully kind of think my thoughts of it, and you know, I think I'm finally ready to actually go and talk about this. So yeah, let's just, you know, get right into it. So I do want to start things off with the fact that let's just get the biggest thing out of the way right now, because I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this on the internet or in a video before now. I went into this thinking, okay, it's gonna be, from what I've heard, and I think it is true, this is going to be the last Indiana Jones movie ever released. So, I was like, okay, this is gonna be the final one. I'm really, really hoping this is better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Because, if you guys haven't seen any of the Indiana Jones movies, let me give you a brief history about that. Things all started back in 1981 with Raiders of the Lost Ark. Then about 3 years later, we got the Temple of Doom, which was an alright sequel, but compared to the first one, it wasn't as good. And then 5 years after that one, we got The Last Crusade, which, in my opinion, is the best Indiana Jones movie of all time, and really did cap off the trilogy at that point. But, you know, with studios around that time, they just wanted to make money. So around 2008, they made a fourth Indiana Jones movie, that being Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which, needless to say, didn't please most fans. Some people did like it, but overall, it was a massive disappointment compared to the previous three that came out beforehand. And everyone thought, okay, this is the end of the Indiana Jones franchise. We haven't gotten a single movie since Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and the franchise kind of ended on a shitty note. So everyone thought, that's it. Indiana Jones ended on a pretty much a whimper. Then we started getting reports that they were making a fifth Indiana Jones movie, and I was like, okay, let's see how they did this. And as, the months and eventually a year passed, we started getting more and more about it. And then finally, it came out, like I said, in June of this year. I did not go to see it initially. I went to watch it with my good friend, my good group of friends, including Aiden, and Dylan, also known as Dr. Element, on July 8th at a 10 p.m. screening. And I think I mentioned this in the vlog, that the theater was completely empty. It was just us and the movie. So I got to really fully pay attention to it. And I went into this thinking, like I said, I'm really is this better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Because, to be honest, I knew this wasn't going to be as good as Raiders or Crusade. Maybe on par with Temple of Doom, but I was just really hoping that this would be better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And since this isn't a full-out review, I could easily just say it now. My expectations were met. This is by far a way better Indiana Jones movie than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was. Is it on par with Temple of Doom? I don't think so. I think it's a very middle ground Indiana Jones movie. Very kind of straightforward, kind of, we need to make an Indiana Jones movie to kind of cap off this entire franchise. So let's just kind of not cram things in, but let's just make a standard Indiana Jones movie with a little bit of a twist. And this film does have problems. I can't speak apparently. This movie does have problems, which I will get to. But to go over the first thing first, I'm really glad that they actually used the original font again that they used in both Raiders, Crusade, and Crystal Skull. I think actually, at this point now, the only movie that didn't use the traditional font in the opening sequence was the Temple of Doom, and that used the poster name, or the poster font. Whereas the rest of the movies in their opening sequence used a very different kind of font, which I will be trying to throw up with screen caps so you guys can see it. But I really did like that a little attention to detail. Also, I'm going to admit, this opening sequence actually surprised me. With the fact that we saw a young Indiana Jones. And what I mean by that, obviously, I'm not talking about actual young Indiana Jones like we saw in The Last Crusade, because that is that's a very young version of Indiana. But in this film, we actually get a de-aging or de-age Harrison Ford, and actually he looks pretty goddamn good for de-aging technology at the time. I was honestly thought that this was gonna be like a Princess Leia situation again, where it looks too uncanny and it's gonna look really fucking fake. But it surprisingly actually does look very good and blends well. And I think a good thing that they did with it in this film is that this scene that it takes place in is mostly set at nighttime, so you don't really see the imperfections in the face. The problem that I've seen with de-aging equipment or de-aging technology used on, for example, Carrie Fisher, and Paul Walker was that those shots were in very exposed lighting, so it did kind of show off the kind of imperfections with it. Whereas this film, it's very dark lighting, so you can't really, so you could actually try and hide the, maybe like where the CGI wasn't too good on the face, which I do really like. I think that's, honestly a great little touch of detail. But yeah, to go, to have the villains be Nazis again did kind of surprise me a bit, because I honestly thought that we would go for something a little bit different. But I guess they were trying to call back to Raiders and Crusade. But it just kind of felt like at this point they were just like, okay, we need to kind of bring back older fans, so let's bring the Nazis again to so that Indy can battle them. So that did feel kind of weird a bit to have Nazis again in 2023. It's kind of weird. But because I thought Spielberg at least would have not gone for that. But I mean, for the story that we have, it works. Obviously, the train battle, I will admit, it was a very cool scene to watch. Like the rain, and like how Indy has to really try and play it off, like sitting through the cars and stuff. Looking around, making sure the Nazis aren't seeing him, and then finally getting his traditional, costume on with the jacket, the hat, and the bullwhip. And the villain for this piece is actually I forgot the actor's name. But he I saw his face and I was like, wait a minute, I recognize you from somewhere, and I looked it up. It's fucking Le Chiffre from the 2006 Casino Royale. So I'm like, wow, okay, so that was a shocker to find out. And he actually does pull off a very, very good performance. As this scientist turned Nazi, crazy ass Nazi. But it's very it's a very cool kind of character to have, where he just goes batshit insane by the end of the movie, which I'll talk about later. Our main girl for the film is I'm forgetting her name, but obviously I'm gonna be throwing screen grabs up of her to kind of illustrate the point. Helen Swan, or Helena Saul, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I have mixed feelings about this character, and what I mean by that is basically she goes from trying to help, or trying to figure out this this mystery with Indy, then turns against him, and then starts to work with him, but then be kind of frenemies, if that makes sense, where she's we're both going for the same item, but I'm not going to get it for the same purposes as you are. I'm going to I can make some money. And then by the end of the movie, she's like, okay, no, I'm actually caring for Indy now, and I'm gonna actually go and help him. So it's a very, I guess you could say it's a character arc where she's like, damn, maybe I should actually help this guy, because this is way bigger than what I thought it was. But it just seems very very conflicted, because at the start she's seems innocent, then she's I'm not working with you, Indy, and then she's like, okay, I'm gonna kind of work with you, but also you're not really gonna trust you. And then she has one or two scenes where she actually seems like a likable character, and then back to how she was beforehand, where it's just I'm not going for the same reasons. And then by the last half an hour to 45 minutes, she's like, okay, I'm actually gonna I'm actually starting to I'm gonna tag along with you now to stop the Nazis. So it's very inconsistent in my opinion, but overall she was alright. We have John Rhys Davies returning as Sala, which I was very surprised about him returning, because I just thought that like they just wrote that character out completely by after Last Crusade. But yeah, he's back for pretty much a cameo role. He only has like a couple scenes, like kind of like at like the start of like the second act of the film, and then one scene at the end, and then he's that's it with John Rhys Davies, but he's all right. And yeah, I think that's it for main characters. I'm gonna okay. Obviously, there's gonna be a spoiler thing at the front because obviously this is a brand new movie, and it's very much like you gotta be careful about about this sort of stuff, and make sure what you don't say and do say with specific kind of videos. But this time, for this video, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say some spoiler stuff. So if you haven't seen the movie, and you want to go and see it, stop watching this video here and go and watch it. But if you just don't care or have already seen the movie, I shall continue. Basically, this scientist guy who has been trying to search for this Dial of Destiny, which is, of course, the film's kind of artifact. Basically, it allows him to control the fabric of time and allows him to basically fucking time travel to wherever the hell he thinks, to wherever he wants to go. So by at this point, Indy's been shot. He's bleeding out basically, and they throw him on this plane with all the Nazis, and they fly off into this kind of like it's like Eye of the Storm sort of thing. And they're flying towards it, like very intense scene, like whoa, like our coordinates are going off the radar, and it's so crazy. And then they go for the ripple, all the engines cut out, and they're trying to scrambling, trying to get the engines back on. They both planes, because we obviously have this we have the plane with all the Nazis and Indy, along with our main with Helena in like the back area of the plane, and then we also have this other plane with the boy that Helena has followed up with, which he was an alright character, but he was just kind of a pale imitation of like Short Round from Temple of Doom, which was like But anyway, so they both planes get their engines up, they're flying around, and then Indy looks out the window and he sees ancient ships firing at each other. Now, our main Nazi scientist plan was to go back to the day that the opening sequence happened in, like with the train and shit, and give him all this information about the modern time, and then completely corrupt the world and have it be a Nazi-filled planet. Yay for Nazis, pretty much. But what he didn't account for was that I think it only takes you to one certain place. I think, yeah, they explained it to where, like, yeah, it only takes you actually to one place in time, and that's backwards in time to the BC era, and they're basically trapped here now. And I was like, oh shit, they're actually gonna like, they're stuck here now, and they can't go back, because I think the movie is set in I think it's set in 1967 or 68, because I heard at the very beginning they actually play the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour album. So I kind of like, I was like, oh my god, the Beatles. But yeah, so they go back from 1967 to the BC era. Pretty far fucking jump there. The guy was intending to go from like 1967 to like maybe 45 or somewhere around, like in like the 1940s, around, I think around the 1940s. He went all the way to the fucking BC era. How do you manage that? And how do you not think about that? I guess he was just so hungry for power that he was just blind to the fact that, oh yeah, this could possibly fuck you over. So, fucking wonderful. So they're like trying. They realize, you know, they're in the wrong time, and so they're scrambling to try and figure out like how the fuck to get back. There's this whole action scene that goes on inside of the plane, and both Indy and Helena manage to get out of the plane via parachute, and while the Nazi plane crashes into the ground and explodes, basically killing all of them. And I think because the other plane's still up. So they're like, oh no, they're both dead. Oh no! And then they see like a little parachute flying by. It's like, oh, thank God. And then they both land. And then I forgot what the character's name was. I'm totally blanking on that. Oh, Archimedes. That's what it was. Okay, Archimedes. You see, they basically went to the time when Archimedes was still in power. So they're like talking to him, and Indy's like, he realizes like, oh yeah, we're in the BC era, and he wants to study this. So he makes up the decision to stay in the BC era. And I'm like, holy shit, like, this is actually like deep. Like, I thought like since they advertised this as gonna be the last Indiana Jones movie, you know, I thought that he was either gonna die or be, you know, set back to this time where he can't go back, or something along those lines. And this was like, it was gearing up for me. I was like, oh wow, he's actually gonna stay in the BC era and like learn about this. But then obviously, you know, Helen brings up the you know, the point that obviously he can't stay back in time because that's gonna screw up all of history. But Indy doesn't care. He's like, I have to stay here. Excuse me. He's like, I have to stay here. I have to study this. And she's like, no, like, you have to go back. And like they keep on saying like practically, like, they're basically arguing between each other. Like, no, I have to stay. No, you have to come back. No, I have to stay. No, you're coming back. And then finally, I think the Archimedes says something, and he's like, oh, like it was your destiny to show up here. And okay, one funny line I actually do remember from the movie is like when at that moment, like, Helen turns around and is like, yeah, and I meant this, and just fully fucking decks Indy in the face. I'm like, oh shit. And then the screen cuts to black, and we fade up on what looks to be the opening shot again, where it scans through Indy's apartment and shows him waking up in bandages, like with a bandage around his chest where like he got shot and that sort of stuff. And at that moment, I was like, wait a minute. Either this is his dying, like this is like his like last vision, or they actually brought him back to the late 1960s and everything's gonna be fine. And it turns out that the second option was correct. So they somehow brought Indy back with the Dial of Destiny. And like this is the one part of the movie that I full out like cannot understand, and I'm like, this is why I can't put it up with Raiders or Crusade. How the fuck did they manage to get him back from the BC era to the 1960s? I'm pretty sure they never explained that it's like not, you can't go like back and forth and shit. Which I'm granted at the same time they never said it was a one-way thing either. But the point still stands. How the fuck did they go back from the BC era to the 1960s? It doesn't make sense. And then to top it all off, Helena is in the apartment, and basically Indy's like, what the hell are you doing here? And she's like, well, you know, gotta help you, you know, get back into shape and whatever. And, you know, the little boy's there, and then all of a sudden, we see this, we see, I think first, Sala shows up with his family, and we're like, what the fuck? How did he show up here? And she's like, yeah, I had to make a little call. And so, yeah, they show up. And then we see this old lady show up. And I was like, wait a minute, no. And then Indy recognizes her as Marion. They brought Marion back for the third time now. Like, ugh. I get that, you know, people love Helen or Marion for, you know, from Raiders. I absolutely love her in Raiders. But even I can admit that her appearance in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was forced. It was so last minute. And yet you want to throw her into the ending of this movie? Ugh. I get that they had to establish, like, this is the final movie. So Indy is settling down now with Marion and all ties are good. But at the same time, it just feels so forced that it doesn't feel as satisfying as it should be. Like, them getting married at the end of the Kingdom of Crystal Skull, while, like, Marion's inclusion in that movie seemed forced, that ending worked. And that really said, like, maybe this could be the last one. Just them reconnecting in this one just makes it feel rushed. And it just makes me feel like this whole ending, like, they had, like, a different ending plan, but then scrapped it and had to rush to film this ending before it was released in theaters. So, I don't know. The ending for me was very mixed. But overall, though, it did not decrease my overall feelings about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. While the ending may be, a bit hit or miss for me, and Helena as a character does way more fucking flip-flops than an actual flip-flop that you wear outside. Overall, though, I did enjoy myself with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and I do recommend everyone watching it, either in theaters or when it comes out to, DVD and Blu-ray, or possibly 4K, because, obviously this being a new movie, they could be upscaled to 4K and not look as good. But I could be wrong. And I think at this point we do not have a release date for the home media releases. I could be totally wrong about that. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this this video on my basically me talking about my thoughts on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. If I had to rank this along with all the other Indiana Jones movies, I think I might. It's kind of weird. I either third or fourth. It's kind of like in this. It's weird. I would put Kingdom of the Crystal Skull last, and then I don't know which one would be better, either this or Temple of Doom. It's weird. Obviously, Raiders would be second for me, and Crusade would be first. But I just don't know. I don't know which one would be better for me, either this or Temple. Obviously, when I go into like my full out reviews for all the Indiana Jones movies, and when I do like my full out rankings for all of them, I will go more into depth there. But at the time of this recording, I think I'm gonna place it fourth. I think in the franchise, either third or fourth. I'm gonna decide on that later. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this little random video. Stay tuned for tomorrow, or either tomorrow or Monday, because I will be doing a little unboxing for you guys, and it may not be what you guys exactly think. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this random video on the RussellStarTrek channel, and I'll see you guys on Monday for my little unboxing, or my little video that's gonna be released on that day, and stay tuned for obviously for more Studio Ghibli Summer. Next time, at the time of this recording, I think yesterday we just uploaded the Only Yesterday review, which you guys can go and check out. It'll be on the card right here. But I think the next one we're going to be discussing is Porco Rosso, or Rosso, whichever one is, or however you pronounce it. But anyway, guys, stay tuned for the video that I have planned for later, or because I'm having a delivery sent to me either tomorrow or tomorrow, but I don't know if it's gonna be late enough to do it on that day or Monday. But yeah, and obviously stay tuned for more Studio Ghibli Summer. That will be resuming, I think, either Monday or Tuesday. I think Tuesday. Is when that will resume. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As per usual, if you like this sort of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon to get notified when future videos are coming out. You can obviously go down in the description below and check out my social medias, my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. That's when you guys get notified when future videos are coming out, or just about my personal life in general. If you guys want to know about what I personally think of movies before I do the reviews on them on my channel, go and follow me on my Letterboxd page. That's when you get notified of what I think about movie, or that's when you guys will learn about what I think about certain movies and that sort of stuff. And obviously follow me on my Twitch, because I'm gonna try and get back into live streaming. I'm not exactly sure, especially with my new setup right here for my consoles, which I don't think you guys on this channel or have even seen yet. So I'm really excited to go over that. Yeah. So stay tuned, guys, for the next video on the channel. And I'll see you guys later. Live long and prosper. Out.